Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Shannon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be my Sephora VIB or appreciation sale wish list, and I have quite a spread for you. I'm pretty sure this is my first recommendations video, so I'm pretty excited about it. If you guys like this, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, you know the drill, and without further ado, let's dive right in. So I'm gonna try, you guys, to start in the order of which I would do my makeup. But there's so much going on in front of me. It may get a little messed up here and there. So, okay, the first thing I would recommend for skincare, and I really only have one item for skincare, and that is the Advanced Genifique from Lancome. You guys know I'm gonna throw in a couple Lancome items. But I've really been enjoying this. I think this is such a beautiful, lightweight serum. It's the first step after cleansing in your process, and what I think this does is really, especially if you have dry skin, it's for all skin types, but if you have really dry skin, it's just gonna give your skin this really beautiful, healthy glow. I especially love this on days that I'm not gonna wear any makeup, or maybe just wear like a tinted moisturizer, or, you know, just spot conceal, because it really does make the skin look so beautiful. I know it's pricey, but if you can get it at a deal, hey, why not? So I think this stuff is amazing. The dropper is also really cool. It automatically loads the amount of product that you will need. So there's never any guess as to how much you need. In my opinion, you could use half a dropper and be totally fine. And you can also use this day or night. So I wanted to recommend that for skincare. I really don't have any other skincare items to talk about. So we're gonna move right into primers. So the first one I'm gonna mention, and this is exactly how I prime my face, and this is exactly what's been working for me, and this has been pretty much how I've been doing things for quite a while now. So the first item is this Becca under eye, it's the Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. I love this, you guys. I really thought this was gonna be gimmicky at first, and I've already pretty much hit pan on it. The only thing I don't love is this like packaging where you rub your finger in the product. I'm not crazy about that. I do have one as a backup. That's how much I love this. I really do feel like it helps cool the under eyes and also smooth out like fine lines, slight wrinkles, and it just creates this smooth, perfect base for your concealer. The next one is and this is exactly the order that I do it as well, you guys. I go in with my La Bosse primer from Lancome, which again, I love this primer. This is, it reminds me a lot of the Smashbox Photo Finish, but it doesn't leave my skin looking oily or greasy, and it just really does smooth out my canvas. It really makes that foundation just slide right on top, and it really does smooth things out. So I've been loving this. I have every intention, this is just a sample, of buying it in full size. We're actually pre-selling for gift with purchase at my counter. So this is one of the items that I'm gonna be purchasing, and I'll show you the other item in a little bit. So anyways, the La Bosse primer is awesome, and while I think it works best for combo oily, I feel like even normal skin can use it too, because it's really not drying at all. And then, this is new to me, you guys, but I have been absolutely loving this primer. So this is a very bougie primer, you guys. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This is $52 full size and retail. If you can get this at a deal, I say get it at a deal, even if it's just 10%. Hey, it's tax. So what I love about it is it does in fact smooth things out, but I think what I love the most about it is this really does extend the wear of my makeup. I am so impressed by this. I really thought it was gonna be like overhyped and not worth the money, but it really is. Now, it doesn't seem like you get a ton of product in here, but you really need, like, I keep taking too much. I need to like dial it back, and I've only been taking the slightest amount. I mean, when they say you need a rice size amount, they're not kidding, because this really spreads over the face. I usually will just dot it around the areas of which I would apply it, and then it just spreads. Like, you wouldn't believe how far this spreads out. So I've been loving that. I think it's definitely worth the hype and definitely worth the money. Next up is my Tarte Clean Slate. I believe they are still carrying this at Sephora. You guys, if I'm wrong about any of this, like not being sold at Sephora, I do apologize. I really tried to make sure, but if I miss something, I'm human. Forgive me. This Clean Slate primer is everything. Like, this has become holy grail status, something that I cannot live without. This is amazing for blurring out pores, and that is exactly what I use it for. I pretty much just use this in my like cheek area because that is where I have my enlarged pores / acne scars. While it doesn't make those things disappear, because in reality, you guys, nothing is gonna make acne scars disappear, but it really, really does make a huge difference. And if you have not tried this yet, go get a sample of it. I really thought that the Tatcha one was going to do what this does. The Tatcha one really does sort of smooth, but I think this is best for prolonging wear. This does a better job at really like smoothing and blurring the pores. So that is a must-have if you have not tried it and you have acne scars or enlarged pores. The other one I wanted to recommend for my really, really oily skin types is the Too Faced Primed and Peachy. I have another one of these deluxe size samples on deck because I bought 2 of those Sex on the Peach complexion kits. You guys, this is amazing. It's almost so mattifying that I have to really hydrate my skin before I use this. But in these hot summer months, if I'm gonna be wearing my makeup for an extensive amount of time, I would go in with this because this really does help mattify throughout the day. This is a really remarkable primer, and I've really been impressed by everything from this Too Faced line. This peachy line they have. Okay, and then next up is for my super dry girls. This is the Laura Mercier Hydrating Foundation Primer. I love this, you guys. I think this is incredible. I prefer this over the Too Faced Hangover. I think this does a slight better job. It is, I'm sure, a little bit more pricey. I have this deluxe size sample here. I will be so sad when this is gone, and this is something I would definitely consider repurchasing. I just think this does a great job at actually hydrating the skin. Sometimes I find when it says hydrating primer, it's more of like a glitter effect. There's no glitter in this at all. It's a cream. As you can see, it's just a white cream consistency. There's no glitter at all whatsoever, but this really does nourish and hydrate the skin, you guys. I think you would be impressed. I would suggest maybe getting a sample if you can, like before the sale, just to make sure, but I really love it. I think it's a great product. And then the last one is for my normal to combo to dry skin types, and this is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I love this. It smells like lemons, which I think is awesome. This does have like the slight, I don't want to say glitter, because when you say glitter, people get afraid, and it also has this like lavender hue to it. Don't be afraid, that blends right out. This has been on the market for a really long time, you guys, but not only do I feel like this hydrates, I feel like this also leaves the most beautiful, dewy, sort of healthy sheen to the skin. It really just adds this, you're probably not going to be able to see it on here. My lights are a little intense, but it smells good. It's lavender. It helps to brighten. It's not an overwhelming scent. It's really refreshing, and it just makes the skin look so healthy and happy. So I really wanted to throw that one out there as well. I know there was a lot of primers, but I think priming the skin is so important, and I really do feel like finding the right combination of primers can really make all the difference in the longevity, the way that your foundation lasts and appears throughout the day. All right, so we're gonna move into foundation now. I wanted to recommend the Lancome Teint Idole. This is the other product that I will be purchasing for my gift with purchase. This is $47 in full size, you guys, but what I love about Teint Idole is it's very pigment packed, so you need the slightest amount to really get excellent coverage, and this stuff wears forever. It wears all day for me, all day. A 10-hour day, no problem. My Teint Idole gets me through the day. And it doesn't lay as heavy as double wear, and that is another thing that I love so much about it, is it gives me that coverage that I'm looking for and the longevity that I'm looking for, but it doesn't sit at all heavy on the skin. It's what I have on now. There's 40 different shades, so plenty to choose from. And we are in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most shade matches. Over 1,300 shade matches, you guys. So we're very proud of that over at the Lancome counter. So anyways, if you cannot find your shade in a foundation, I would suggest giving that one a go, especially if you have combination oily skin. I think you're really, really gonna love it. Next up is the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. This is a comfort matte foundation, and it's got beautiful coverage. It looks beautiful on the skin. It wears beautifully throughout the day. It smells fantastic. And I just think overall this is a beautiful foundation. I've been really impressed with it, so I thought I would mention that one as well. And then I have the Bare Pro foundation from Bare Minerals. This is $34, which isn't too bad. You get a fluid ounce, right? Yep, 1 fluid ounce for $34. And this is a beautiful foundation, especially if you are oily. This is something that's gonna wear beautifully throughout the day. It's not gonna break apart on you. It's not gonna ever look cakey. I sold a lot of this when I worked at Ulta because it was one of those foundations that I could pretty much make work on most of my oily clients. And for the most part, they really enjoyed the way that it looked on their skin. So I wanted to mention this one. And then the very last one I want to mention is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. You guys, this is such a beautiful foundation. I've got to admit, it is one of my all-time favorites. These ones that I've just mentioned to you are pretty much my tops. They're the best of the best in my collection. But this one, in my opinion, this is one of the few foundations that pretty much works on any skin type. I used to put this on clients at Ulta, and I mean, there were some clients that had a lot to cover. Maybe they didn't have the most even skin in terms of texture, even hyperpigmentation. It didn't matter. This NARS foundation always came through for me, always. It wears beautifully throughout the day, and what I love is it's very much a skin-like finish. It's a natural looking finish, never too heavy, never too much, you know. It's just stunning, and one that I highly, highly recommend. So for concealer, sorry, I only have 2. These are just my ride or dies, you guys. These are just the 2 that I personally swear by. The first one is Tarte Shape Tape. I no longer use Tarte Shape Tape under my eyes. This does not work for me. It just ages me, and I just don't love the way it sits under my eyes. However, in the T-zone where I am the most oily, this really just works. It just does. I have learned that less is more with this. I usually will only put like 2 tiny little dots on each eye, and then like just dotting. I mean, we're talking pea-sized dots, and that is more than enough to give me the coverage that I need, and it just really is a beautiful concealer. The hype really is real. I do have an under eye corrector I want to mention, and that is the Becca. I do have this in full size. This is the Becca under eye corrector. There is no under eye corrector better than this one, in my opinion, you guys. It's just perfect. It's emollient, but not too emollient. It hydrates my under eyes, and so when I go in with something maybe mattifying under the eye, say a super matte long wear foundation, this just gives me that little bit of extra hydration that I need to make things look smooth. And if you have any form of dark circle, I promise you, this is gonna take care of it better than any other under eye corrector, I promise you. And then my holy grail, I'm sure you guys see this coming, it's the Urban Decay Naked Skin. To me, there is no concealer on the market better than this. Now, I've not tried all of the concealers on the market, but all of the ones that I have tried, which you guys, I've tried tons of concealers, this is just perfect. This is my perfect concealer. It's not too heavy, it is super creamy, but it doesn't crease, it blends out beautifully, it wears beautifully, there's multiple shades and undertones to choose from, and lately I've been really enjoying pairing these two, the Shape Tape and the Naked Skin. Reason being is because this one is far too light and this one's just a smidge too dark. Pairing these together is like heaven. It's perfect. I get the longevity that I need out of my Shape Tape. I get that little extra coverage out of the Shape Tape, but I get the creaminess of my Urban Decay, and it's just perfect, you guys. It's just perfect. So if you've not tried that combo, give it a go, especially while you can get it on sale. All right, next for setting powders, I have two setting powders. The first one is for my oily girls, two combination girls. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect. There's nothing better. There is no mattifying powder better than this one, in my opinion. I used to be a firm believer of Dermablend. I still love Dermablend, but this has taken the #1 spot. Sometimes this is almost too mattifying for me. I am a combination skin type, so like in the winter months when my face is a little drier, I can't use this like I can use some of my other powders, but if you are super oily, definitely give this one a go. Nothing is gonna work better than this, I promise. I wanted to recommend for my combo to dry-skinned girls the Hourglass Mineral Veil. This powder is so beautiful, you guys. It's worth all of the hype. The packaging is stunning. Some people don't like it. I do. I feel like it keeps the powder under control. This is a pricey powder, so I want to keep every little bit in there. And I personally really enjoy it. I like the dip. I can just kind of shake some out, dip my beauty blender in there, and call it a day. This just is beautiful. This is going to give your skin the most beautiful, sort of luminous glow. It's just fantastic, and I'm obsessed. I think it's worth every penny, but if you can get it at a deal, get it at a deal. And then for a pressed powder, I wanted to recommend the Urban Decay All Nighter Powder. I think this is fantastic. I know I said 2, I lied, I'm gonna make it 3. Some people don't like loose powders. If you're oily, if you just need your makeup to last all day long, set it with this. This is beautiful. It's not too heavy. Some pressed powders I find to be too heavy and almost make my face look a little too cakey. I never get that with that powder. However, it isn't translucent. Like, there is a tint to it. So just keep that in mind. If you're fairer than I am, it may not work for you. Swatch it out in store, but it is a beautiful powder, and it really does make a difference in how long your makeup lasts throughout the day. All right, moving in to, sorry guys, I'm just trying to put things back as I go so that I don't have a huge mess to clean up at the end. For, let's see, contouring. We'll go contouring next. I have 2 contour palettes. Actually, yeah, I have 2 contour palettes. All right, so first up, Shade and Light. This is an oldie but a goodie. I know there's all this controversy around Kat Von D. That's why I have other options in case you are boycotting. But if you're not boycotting the brand, this really is a beautiful contour kit. These powders are stunning. This works for me any time of year. I love the like banana shade in here. I know you're not really able to see it on camera, but they're just smooth. They're pigmented, but not too pigmented. They blend out beautifully, and what can I say? It's a good palette. For cream contouring, I'll briefly mention this. I wasn't going to, but I will. The Anastasia Cream Contour Kit. The reason I wasn't going to mention this is because I've seen these at TJ Maxx for far cheaper than what you will get it, even on a discount at Sephora. But this is an awesome cream contour kit. It is my all-time favorite. I have hit pan on this shade here. I love this. I love the formula. It's a drier formula, keep that in mind, but because I am combination and I am oily in this area, that works out better for me. Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. I love this. I think this is an awesome palette. I love that I can contour and bronze with this, and I have these lighter shades here. It's perfect for travel. If you're on the go and say you don't want to carry a bunch of different individual things, this is going to give you contouring, bronzing. You could do your brows probably depending on your hair color with some of these shades in here. You could use this for eyeshadow. You could use those two white shades to set your eyeshadow primer. Like, this is just one of those versatile products, and I think the formula is absolutely beautiful. So I definitely wanted to mention that one. And then the last one I have, it's not necessarily like a full full contour palette, but this is that NARS Bord de Plage. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Hopefully this is still available. Last time I went into my Sephora, I saw it. But you guys, this is so beautiful. These highlights, they're those highlights that just are so reflective. They look so beautiful without like making any texture you may have stick out. They're just gorgeous. These lights, I'm sorry, you guys. I wish I could show you swatches a little bit better. Regardless, I think this is worth the money. It is pricey. If you can get it on sale, get it on sale. And it does have Casino and Laguna, both of their bronzer shades, or two of their bronzer shades in here, which is great. It's just one of those multifunctional palettes, and I think it is awesome. All right, moving into, I just want to do face palette real quick. I only really have one face palette that I wanted to mention, and this is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette that they just came out with. The packaging is stunning, and overall, this really is a beautiful palette. I don't think it's going to work for every skin type, which is unfortunate, but if you can make this work for you, I really do think it's worth the money. This blush is one of the most beautiful blushes I've ever seen in my life, and this bronzer, Sunny Honey, one of my favorite bronzers ever. It smells fantastic. The highlights are beautiful. The formula is beautiful. They blend beautifully. Like, I could go on and on and on about this, you guys. Truly, in all honesty, you know, when I was thinking of all of the face palettes in my collection that are sold at Sephora, this is really the one that just jumped out at me. So I wanted to make sure to mention it. Okay, now we're gonna move into bronzers. I have several different bronzers to mention, so I'm gonna try to keep this quick just to keep the ball rolling. The first one is NARS Laguna. I know this has been around forever, you guys, but this really is a beautiful bronzer. I really enjoy it. This is so expensive. It's so expensive. It's crazy. But it really truly is a beautiful bronzer. It's been on the market forever. It's an oldie but a goodie. There's a reason it's still around, and so I wanted to mention that one, as well as the, well, I'll do an order of like most expensive to least expensive. Next would be the Becca Sunlit bronzer. I have mine in Capri Coast. These are stunning. It has a slight sheen, so it's not a flat matte, but it really just makes the skin look sort of just that beautiful, like, sun-kissed glow, like you've just been out in the sun. I love those. I think they're beautiful. And then the last one I have is from Anastasia. This is one of theirs. I have mine in the shade Rich Amber. I thought this was going to be far too dark for me. Turns out it's actually really beautiful on my skin tone. There's several different shades to choose from. It's the typical Anastasia powder formula. Super creamy, super pigmented. A little is going to go a long way. I think the price is perfect on these. I think they're 28 bucks. You can't really beat that considering, you know, just how good the quality is. And I know that looks dark in the swatch, but with a very light hand, it really does look stunning, and it is a matte bronzer. The last one I have, I missed this one. This is my most expensive. I don't think this is still available, but they do have a permanent one in their line, and it is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic. This is beautiful. I can't use it now. It's a little too light for me, but in the winter months, between this and my Physicians Formula bronzer and light bronzer, they're pretty much like my go-tos in the winter when I'm super fair. This smells awesome. It smells like coconut spice. But I do believe that they have this, I know they have it in their permanent line, and the formula is so good, you guys. It's so good. I've swatched the permanent one. It's beautiful too. I would like to have it also. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would be happy to have all of them. Like, all of the shades that work for me from Marc Jacobs, I would be happy to have. I believe the one in their permanent line is just a little bit darker than this one. Nonetheless, it's beautiful. All right, we're gonna move into blushes now. I have these from Anastasia. These blush trios from Anastasia are incredible. They are ultra pigmented. There's several different trios to choose from, so whatever you fancy, you're gonna be able to find it. I have mine in Pink Passion and Cocktail Party. These are stunning. I've mentioned them several times on my channel. They are pigmented. They blend out beautifully. A little goes a long way. You really don't need to pile this on your brush because they are very soft. Like I said, typical Anastasia powder formula. They're very soft, very blendable, and very pigmented. And they're also $28, and you get 3 different blushes, which I think is great. I have NARS Deep Throat. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes. I love the shade. I love the slight gold fleck in there. It's just stunning. These are so overpriced, in my opinion, for the amount of product that you get, but they are beautiful, and I think they're definitely... I think that shade is definitely worth it, especially if you can get it on sale. And then I have a few of the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. These are probably my most long-wearing blushes in my collection. I think they're beautiful. They're pigmented. They are a little bit rough to the touch. They're definitely not soft like, say, the Anastasia formula, but they are beautiful and they will wear forever on your skin, I promise you. So if you're one of those people where blush just sort of disappears on you within seconds, it seems like, I think these Tarte Amazonian Clay ones would be something for you to check out. I think you'd really be impressed. All right, so we're gonna move into highlights now. I have several highlighters. This is gonna be such a long video. There's really only 2 brands that I am gonna recommend for highlight that I see in front of me. The first are these Becca highlights. There's a reason that these are so hyped up, you guys. They're just beautiful. They're just stunning. This one here is Champagne Pop. I have Prosecco Pop as well, which is also really, really beautiful. And then I have my personal favorite, and that is Lilac Geode. This is one of my all-time favorite highlighters in my collection. I love the packaging. I love this formula. They're just stunning. They're just absolutely stunning. It's like nothing is showing up on this today. My lighting is rough. You can see it has a slight mauve sort of base and a gold shift buffed out on the skin. This looks so beautiful. They never ever enhance my texture, in my opinion, and yeah, I just think they're totally worth the splurge. And then my last recommendation for highlights from Sephora is these Anastasia glow kits. There are several different glow kits to choose from. There's the Aurora, which is the colorful one. There is, if this is still available, the Sugar Glow Kit, which is probably my favorite. Sun Dipped, this is better if you are of a deeper complexion. I would say medium to deep, and this is better if you are fair to light. And then the newest, latest, and greatest is the Dream. Now this one here is definitely a different formula. It's my least favorite of all of the glow kits. I think it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but they are a little bit on the chunky side. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have found that as I continue to work with that palette and get through that top layer, they're less glittery, but there is glitter. So just keep that in mind, but it is a rather fun palette, and those shades are pretty unique to my collection, so that is one of the biggest reasons I picked it up. And I have most of the other glow kits. I just love them. I think they're beautiful. Anastasia's formula is amazing, so if you haven't tried it, I think it's a great value. Also, you get those 4 huge pans for $40. I mean, can't beat that. Setting spray, Urban Decay All Nighter, Urban Decay De-Slick. These are two of my holy grail setting sprays. I absolutely love them. However, I also wanted to mention the Too Faced, the one that matches this collection. It's their mattifying setting spray. It is amazing. I really need to re-up on it. I have another little like sample size from that kit that I got, but I've already used up one of them. And when I say it's mattifying, you guys, it is so mattifying, like almost too mattifying depending on the time of year for me. So if you're super oily, you're gonna love that one. And then the other one I wanted to mention for my girls that have dry skin would be the Too Faced Hangover Primer or setting spray. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It actually is hydrating. I don't have it currently, but it's been on the market forever and there's a reason. It's really that good. All right, so moving into, let's cover brows really quickly. We're already at 30 minutes, so I really want to speed things up. My favorite brow products are the Anastasia brow pomade, and I top it off always with the brow powder. I love Anastasia's pomade and I love her powder. The pencil I think is a little overrated. I feel like you can get a drugstore option for cheaper and it's going to do the same thing. But if you need something to wear all day long, 12, 14, however many hours, get the pomade. It's going to wear forever. For mascaras, my Lancome mascaras, like I was never really one to spend top dollar on mascara until I realized how amazing Lancome mascaras are. I've said this quite a few times now, but there's a reason. I truly mean it when I say these are some of the best mascaras I've ever tried, and probably the only mascara out there that I would pay top dollar for. The Seals Booster is an amazing primer, and by amazing I mean amazing. And then Definicils for really separating and lengthening, and then I always top it with Monsieur Big to get that full separated lash look. The primer keeps the lash look in place all day. It also nourishes the lashes. I could go on and on about these, you guys. They're so good. I already have them in full size, by the way, but I'm finishing through my samples. For liners, I have two formulas I wanted to mention. Marc Jacobs highliners are some of my favorites. There's so many different colors to choose from, and these are one of the few liners that really wears in my waterline all day. Actually, I won't say all day, but I can get a good 4 to 6 hours out of this liner in my waterline, which is huge because that never happens. The Urban Decay 24/7 liners, these are not as long wearing in the waterline as these ones are from Marc Jacobs. However, what I love about these is there are so many different colors to choose from. I usually will run it in my like lower lash line, smudge it with shadow, and it wears all day that way. But I just love their shade selection. I think they're great pencils. They do wear nicely, just not as long as these in the waterline, but the shade range is incredible. All right, so moving into lipsticks, there are 4 different formulas I want to mention. These are bullet lipsticks. First would be the Lancome Color Designs. These are so creamy, you guys. These go on so comfortably, they wear so comfortably, and they wear for a pretty good amount of time for being such a creamy, comfortable bullet lipstick. I think these are very underrated. I don't hear a lot about them. I have thoroughly enjoyed wearing my Color Design lipsticks, and I think they're incredible. The Urban Decay Vice lipsticks, these are awesome. Doesn't matter what formula, you know, the cream, the matte, doesn't matter. These are awesome, awesome, awesome. The Kat Von D studded lipsticks are some of my favorites. This is her older packaging, but nonetheless, these are beautiful. I have the shade Lolita here. Even specifically this shade I would recommend. I think it looks beautiful on such an array of skin tones. And then last but not least, I'm going to mention these Anastasia ones. These are very hit and miss. You either love them or you don't. They are a very matte lipstick, but I really enjoy a matte lipstick, especially one that's going to wear for a long time, and I get such great wear out of these. They are very controversial. Again, you either love them or you don't, but I love them. Okay, moving into liquid lipsticks and glosses. I did not put in any lip liners, you guys, because quite honestly, the NYX liners are just my favorite, and in my opinion, so long as the NYX Slide-On Glide-On pencils exist, there's really no reason for me to buy any lip liner at full price. That's just how I feel about it. All right, so liquid lipsticks, the Stila Stay All Days in the shade Patina specifically, but yeah, One of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas are the Stila Stay All Days, as well as these NARS Power Matte Lip Pigments. These are incredible. These are beautiful. They wear beautifully. They kind of remind me of the Huda Beauty ones. So if you're familiar with that, these are pretty similar. They're kind of watery at first. They set and they wear for hours upon hours. They have a beautiful shade selection. I also love the Huda ones. I forgot to pull one, but I would recommend the Huda ones. And then I wanted to mention the Smashbox ones. Of all of the liquid lipsticks out there, you guys, those are my favorites. I would like to try the Dose of Colors ones. I've not tried those yet, and Ofra's formula. Neither one you can get at Sephora, so I guess that is irrelevant, but let me know what you think of those formulas if you've tried them out. And then for glosses, the Marc Jacobs glosses, this is in the shade Sugar Sugar. Beautiful, beautiful glosses, you guys. You all know, if you've been watching, Buxom is my all-time favorite gloss. However, these Marc Jacobs ones are really beautiful. The Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shines are really beautiful. They're pigmented, not too sticky, wear for a decent amount of time for a gloss. And then I couldn't find mine, but the Becca glosses, those are also really nice. So those are just a few like lip picks or lip recommendations for, you know, high-end lip products that I would recommend. All right, and then I think we're finally on to palettes, and then we're done. So first one is the Shade and Light palette. I'm sorry, I had to mention it, you guys. Listen, this is an OG. It's a beautiful neutral palette. It's a beautiful everyday palette. It's got the 3 different quads to choose from. I love this in the winter months as sort of a contour shade. Actually, it just looks beautiful on my skin when I'm super fair. And I've done so many different looks out of this palette. I know it seems super basic, but this like brick red is one of my favorite reds, and these browns are some of my favorite browns. So I had to mention it because it really is a fantastic palette, and I just feel like it's a staple. You know, it's just a staple. And if you're not boycotting Kat Von D, this is a good one. The new Urban Decay Born to Run palette, this really is a beautiful palette. I haven't gotten a chance to use it as much as I would like to, but I have used it enough to know that the formula is great. It's one of the better Urban Decay formulas that have come out recently, in my opinion. And I love that you get everything you need. Cool tones, warm tones. You can create so many different looks out of this palette. It's got a beautiful mirror, beautiful packaging. It's just an awesome palette, you guys. It really is. All right, next up are the Huda Beauty palettes, the minis specifically. I'm not a huge fan of her larger palettes. I don't think that they're as good as her smaller palettes. I do believe that the formula is different between her small palettes and her large palettes. I have Mauve Obsessions, and I also have Warm Brown Obsessions. I have featured these in favorites before. They really are awesome. I think $27 is a good price point. It's a fair price point. They're perfect for travel. They're just perfect. And there's, what, 5 or 6 of them now to choose from, I think. So I would like to get the smoky one, and I'd like to get the Coral Obsessions, and I'd like to get the editorial one. Those are the 3 that I would like to get, and I believe there's the gemstone one, and I think that's all. So yeah, I would like to get the other 3. I'm not really interested in the gemstones one just because it's all shimmers, and I'm not really about that life, but yeah. Next up are the Anastasia palettes. Yep, I've included Subculture too. Subculture is not for everyone, but it is for some people. There are some people that do really like it. I am one of those people, and I just love Anastasia's shadow formula. I think her palettes are beautiful. They all complement each other really nicely, so you can mix and match and interchange these palettes, and they all work together. And there is a palette for everyone. You know, if you love your cool tones, you love your purples, I'd go with Norvina. If you love your warm tones and your neutrals, I would say Modern Renaissance. If you're just one of those girls that's just, you know, into her everyday glam, soft glam, and if you're somebody that likes that grungy, really different, bold eye look, Subculture. But nonetheless, if you had all 4, they all work together. I've mixed these palettes together on numerous occasions, and I've created some really amazing looks out of these palettes. I personally love her formula. The next one is Dominique Cosmetics Latte Palette. I believe this is now currently available at Sephora, as well as the Lemonade palette. I can't speak to the Lemonade palette. I don't personally own it, but this has quickly become one of my favorite palettes in my collection. This formula is absolutely incredible, you guys. I love this shade range. I love those 2 pops of color. These 3 foiled shades are some of the most beautiful foiled shades I've ever used in my life. There's no need to wet your brush. They go on full on pigment with a dry brush. It's incredible. And then they're just really easy to work with. I think this is a great palette for a beginner because you really have to kind of build up the color, and I'm okay with that. And then the last one I wanted to mention is the Too Faced Peachy, just Peachy Mattes, the original, not the white peach one. That's not my jam. But this is one of my favorite palettes. I love the colors in here. I love this packaging. I love the way it smells. I love everything about it. To me, this is one of those just staple palettes. If you enjoy warm tones, you will love this palette. I know it looks pretty kind of like a one-note deal, but you can actually create quite a few different looks out of this little guy here. I think it's great for travel because it is pretty sturdy. It's got a great little mirror in there, and you can get your neutral, just everyday looks out of it as well. And that's something that I look for out of palettes, because not everybody likes this bold, bright eye look. They want something just everyday neutral, you know? And so I always look for a palette when I'm recommending that can give you a little bit of both, you know, especially if you don't have a huge collection. But anyways, you guys, that is it. That is my entire recommendations. I know this is a long video. If you stuck around to the end, give me a green heart for money, because we're gonna be saving lots of money hopefully during this sale. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for just all of your support, your love. We made it over 300 subscribers. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.